Tucson Council member Steve Kozachik wants voters to decide whether the Regional Transit Authority should shift millions of dollars from building new roads to fixing old ones. What do drivers think, and will they get a chance to make that vote? Not in your sides, Craig Smith, live with a good example of what that change might smooth out.
Well, Guy, we are live here on Camino Seco with a fine example in the wild of the not at all rare native Tucson pothole. Now, one idea is to move a share of RTA money that was originally meant to build new projects to repair these streets, but it's not at all clear that that idea will ever get any traction. Tucson Councilmember Steve Kozachik wants to devote about 20% of the millions in sales tax you're paying into RTA into fixing streets instead of building new or wider roads.
This is not a new tax. This is just reallocate the tax you're already paying into road repair.
Because voters approved RTA based on the promise of new roads and bridges, any change in the plan would require you to vote again. Drivers we asked like the idea of moving part of RTA's money to maintenance. You think you'd vote for that kind of change?
I would if I could be guaranteed that they would use it for the fixing the roads.
A little skeptical about that?
A little skeptical.
But as far as putting, in front of the voters money to fix roads, I think they'd pass in a flash.
But an election would require the RTA board asking the Pima Board of Supervisors to call that election. The authority's executive director says RTA is devoted to improving capacity, so it's not ready to do that. Pima County Supervisor Sharon Bronson tells KGUN-9 she might favor revising priorities for new construction, but not to move money to maintenance. Supervisor Richard Elias says before deciding to call for a vote on shifting RTA funds for roads, he'd have to balance public input now against the promise of new roads in the original RTA vote.
Because there's a lot of people right now that are thinking that that RTA money could be converted into different kind of uses, and I just think we need to be very careful about following through with the promises that were made to the voters by the RTA.
Now, RTA's executive director suggests instead of tapping RTA money for new construction, that these local jurisdictions should go up to Phoenix and lobby harder towards the state lawmakers to try to convince them to be less inclined to take gas tax money intended for local road maintenance and shift it off to cover other parts of the state budget, helping to balance the state budget while unbalancing the road repair budget down here.
If they get it back, will it be enough?
Well, that's an open question, because one of the complaints from the local jurisdictions is that that money has been siphoned off, a share of that money has been siphoned off year after year after year, and the maintenance hole has gotten deeper and deeper, so they've got a big hole to get out of, and even if the money is restored at normal levels, they may not have enough.
Craig, thank you. Now, we want to know what you think. Would you support a proposal to divert 20% of RTA's money, now intended for road construction purposes, for pothole repairs? Take our online poll at KGUN9.com.